Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel, African Dignity. Student, today we are going to deal with bail. We've dealt with bail in as far as adults are concerned. Today we are going to deal with bail where a child offender is implicated. First of all, you will do the same procedure where when somebody comes to your office to request your assistance in securing bail for somebody who has been arrested, you will do that inquiry as to who was arrested, what are the particulars, what are the name, the address of the person, the age of the person who has been arrested, and you will also inquire about whether the person has an alternative address in case the court orders that he be sent to an alternative address, depending on the veracity of the offense, because it might happen that the person has committed an offense like rape or domestic violence. So that will mean that that offender has to be taken to an alternative address. You will also inquire about which police station is the accused arrested at, so that you will know which court, because each and every police station has a particular jurisdiction. If you are arrested in a police station if you are arrested in Ngwelezane, obviously you will go to a court in Ngwelezane. There is a court in Ngwelezane. You won't be going to a court in Mpangeni. But if you are arrested somewhere in Tseleni, you will be going to a court in Mpangeni. And if you are arrested in somewhere in Emandazini or Mzingas, you will be taken to a court in Richards Bay, because those police stations are under the jurisdiction of that particular court. So it's important to find out where is the accused arrested, right? And also you will also inquire about who is the investigating officer, the IO. You want to know who the IO is, because you want to find out whether bail will be opposed or not. You will also want to find out who is the prosecutor. Then the prosecutor, you will negotiate with the prosecutor also to find out if bail is opposed. Right, and then once you found that, then you also establish whether your client has money, because it's two things. The client has to pay you and also pay bail money if the court sets an amount of bail money to be paid. So you need to know when you're doing your application, you will also put in that affidavit that the accused or the applicant can afford a certain amount of bail money. You need to state that. Now, here is a scenario. A question will arise. Definitely, it has to arise in your test or examination, because it is important that you write something. We test you or we assess you on bail, because as a criminal lawyer, if you become a criminal lawyer, doing bail is going to be your everyday exercise. You're going to be doing bail as long as you are a criminal lawyer, right? A question might arise where the question will say, Ben is a 15-year-old boy and is accused of assault GPH. The question is now, discuss the possibility of bail under sections 59, 59A, and 60 of the Criminal Procedure A, as well as section 25 of the Child Justice Act. I guess everyone knows something about the Child Justice Act. You need to go and look at that section 25 of the Child Justice Act. Okay, that is the question. This question will be for 10 marks, and you need to be able to answer this question. So I'll give you a possible answer to that question. Here we've talked of section 59. You need to know, firstly, you need to know section 59 is police bail, right? Where your client will be released by a commissioned officer. I told you a commissioned officer is those officers above the rank of, from the rank of lieutenant in the police. Those are commissioned officers. All those people whom they are saluted when a junior officer meets them and they salute are called commissioned officers, right? And the rest is non-commissioned. Sergeants, warrant officers, corporal, lance corporal, all those ranks, those are non-commissioned officers. So bail in terms of section 59 of the Criminal Procedure Act will only be granted by a commissioned officer at the police station. That is what is called police bail. So you need to deal with that as well. And also there is a bail that is granted in terms of section 59 capital A. That bail is granted by a prosecutor. It could be a negotiation that we can do with the prosecutor. The prosecutor will say the accused may be released on bail without him appearing in court. It normally happens after hours, where you will go and negotiate with the prosecutor and the IO to have your accused or your client released on bail in terms of section 59 capital A. That is bail granted by a prosecutor. So you need to state that. And also there is bail granted in terms of section 60. That is now a formal bail application where your client is granted bail by the presiding officer. Okay, we are trying now to answer this question. This is how you go about it, right? You will start by saying, with the limited exception of sections 59 and section 59 capital A, right? Chapter 9 of the Criminal Procedure Act applies in its entirety to the bail of child offenders, because we've said this offender is 15-year-old. Any offender, for your information, any person who is under the age of 18, right, who has not reached their 18th birthday, person can be 17 months, 17 years and 3 months, or even 11 months. That person is regarded as a child. So the Child Justice Act will apply, and when you are doing bail, the provisions of section 25 of the Child Justice Act will kick in. So like I've said, the section 59 and section 59A apply when read with section 21 subsection 2 subsection B of the Child Justice Act. So you need to read those. Section 21 of the same act, section 21 subsection 2B of the Criminal Justice Act determines that a child must be released by a police official if the crime in question results under Schedule 1. So once the crime is dealt with as a Schedule 1, then the police official may release that child on bail. Which police official? You need to clarify. A commissioned police official is the only one who can, not any police, not the IO, not anybody, but a commissioned officer in the police force may release the child if the crime in question resorts under Schedule 1, right? That the child will be released before his first appearance at a preliminary inquiry. Section 21, subsection 2b further determines that a prosecutor in respect of Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 offences may authorize the release of a child on bail in terms of Section 59 capital A of the Criminal Procedure Act. Now you see there is now a distinction here. Now when it is the prosecutor, also somebody who has been charged with offences together, both Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 may be released by the prosecutor. So that's where now the decision kicks in. A presiding officer at the child's first appearance at a preliminary inquiry, or a presiding officer in the Child Justice Court may release the child on bail subject to the following requirements, right? There are requirements before a child is released on bail. There are certain requirements that have to be made. The first one is, and like how it happens in other bail applications, the interest of justice must permit the release of the child, right? Interest of justice, right? If the interest of justice permit release, a separate inquiry into the ability of the child to pay a bail amount must be held. Now you have determined that, okay, interest of justice permit that the child be released. Now you do the second inquiry where you find out whether the child will have money, right? And if it is found that the child for his appropriate or his appropriate adult lacks financial resources to pay bail, the court may impose other bail conditions. Now it happens that, okay, the inquiry has been made and the child is unable to pay that money. The court may then impose other bail conditions besides the payment of money. If the child is able to afford bail, the child then the court will have to set up the amount to say you will be released on a bail of, say, 500 rand or 1,000 rand, depending on the circumstances, right? All right. Then, if Ben, in this case, Ben has been accused of Schedule 2 crime and therefore may be released by the prosecutor under Section 21, subsection 2b of the Child Justice Act, read with Section 59, capital A of the Criminal Procedure Act, right? In this case, if such release does not occur, he can be released by the presiding officer, which is the magistrate, at the preliminary inquiry, essentially the first appearance, or by the presiding officer in the Child Justice Court under Section 25 of the Child Justice Act, read with Section 60 of the Criminal Procedure Act. That is how you answer that question for 10 marks. If you say that, you've got your full 10 marks. So you must repeat that, because I have to set that question in your test or even in your exams. So be careful, take note of this, tune in on my YouTube channel and get this information, and then you will pass easily. Thank you.